Yo, yo, yo. What is up, everybody? This is your friend on the microphone, Chauncey the Thriller. And I want to welcome you to this edition of Detainment Radio. Today is October 14th. And in the his house, we have Beatbox Jake, and we also have Sacramento Knoxx. And we are also celebrating Indigenous Peoples Day, formerly known as Columbus Day. What'd you say?
Swing, swing. That's my sword.
Right. And so we are now live on the air. I'm going to kind of fade the beat out. And welcome everybody to another episode of Detainment Radio. Detainment Radio focusing on all things entertainment related in the Metro Detroit area and the diaspora thereof. And so we, on this show, are musicians, actors, producers, film editors, and stuff like that. And today we have a couple of musicians in the house. And first, we are going to talk to Beatbox Jake. What up, what up, what up, Beatbox?
Check it out. He's doing stuff with his mouth.
Oh my goodness.
Thanks, butthead.
Oh man.
So how you been?
It's
cut it out. Sorry.
bam. You know what I'm saying though.
Sorry. They're not really here right now.
No, we're not really here. We're just kind of pretending.
I'm a figment of my imagination.
You too?
Sometimes, dude.
I
it
thought
hurts.
I was the only one.
Does it sound better like this or like this to you? Without the pop filter?
I don't know that I notice a difference, but I do
Check.
feel like they are slightly. I'll bring them
Check
down.
1
just a
2.
tad.
Check 1 2. With pop filter. Without pop filter.
I think with.
With it is better.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So
Boom.
Jake, what's going on? So you have a long history with the music thing.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I've been doing music for at least a few days.
That's good. That's a good start. That's a good start.
No, I've been doing music since I was 9. Like I started playing guitar when I was 9, and I didn't find beatboxing until I was like 19.
Oh wow. Okay.
And by that time, I had already been going to open mics. Like I came up through the southeastern open mic scene, southeastern Michigan open mic scene, not the entire southeast of America. That would be insane. But yeah, that's so I've been beatboxing in front of people since I started trying to beatbox.
Oh, so there were people present when you first started.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah, there were people who have witnessed the horrors of a beginner beatboxer. We're talking day 1.
So like what prompted you? You're standing there, there's people in the room, and you're just like, all of a sudden, I feel like beatboxing, or how did that go?
Well, I found out about beatboxing from a coworker of mine who, at my first job that I ever had, she told me her boyfriend was drunk one night trying to do it, and I didn't know it could be done well.
Okay.
I just knew it was like the dude covering his mouth on the street corner, like that kind of thing. I didn't know there was like a skill ceiling.
Yeah.
So I went on YouTube and saw Dave Crow from Hey Moon Shaker. Shout out to Hey Moon Shaker from England. He was doing like all that kind of. He's doing dubstep on the street corner, and a big crowd formed. I'm like, that's
cool.
That's how I'm gonna get my electronic aspirations out. Not through the technology. It's gonna be with this.
Yeah.
Because if you can use our number one tool for communication, which is our voice, in a way that makes people want to physically move their bodies.
Yeah.
That's something powerful.
Yeah.
That's a different kind of communication right there.
That's a good way to look at it, actually.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
It's a little bit epic.
So that first time, tell us about that first time
Dude,
beatboxing.
I was 18. She was 18. Man, no, I'm kidding. Sorry. The first time beatboxing, dude, it was really difficult, and it wore me out a lot. My face hurt from all the muscles being used.
Sure, yeah.
And people were kind of like, what was that? I don't know what that is. And then those open micers that I saw every week or whatever in different areas watched me get better at it over the years.
Okay.
So,
yeah. So like there was a response. Usually when we do things repeatedly, we get a response that we somewhat enjoy and, coaxes us to continue to do these things, right? And did you have people encouraging you or kind of saying, hey, that was kind of cool, maybe you can try this and then help you improve? Or
there was a lot of nothing at first. It wasn't even people who didn't like it, although this one spot did tell me I wasn't allowed to do it for a while. They're like, you got to go back to the acoustic guitar stuff.
Okay.
Just do that for a month or whatever, and whatever. I don't know. But as far as the encouragement, there's very few beatboxers that I know. Like I don't know any large conglomerate of beatboxers. I've been to the Ohio Beatbox Championships now as a guest showcase appearance.
I kind of remember that, yeah.
Yeah, that was actually a big deal because it was put on by Shut Your Mouth and Beatbox.
Okay.
Which I've been watching since I started beatboxing.
So that was a big deal then.
Yeah, it was. And I met some people that I met and performed alongside. Misfire, who I've been watching since close to when I started, and Napalm, who I've also been watching since I started.
Okay.
So that was a big deal. But I also met Carnage the Executioner, and he's my friend now. Like, we talk and stuff, and I actually drove out to Minnesota to play a show with him. But he was one of the judges that night, and you can Google him. He's on Wikipedia. You can see what he's done.
Okay.
He's been around for a long time. He's been around since early beatboxing. And he himself is a really unique act because he's got what you would think is like a guitar pedal board. He's got loopers and 2 different kinds of microphones. He's his own DJ.
Wow.
He'll lay beats and then he'll run effects over his voice and make soundscapes and stuff. Okay. And then he's got bars on top of that. So, yeah.
Okay. Has that inspired you to do anything else with what you do when you go and perform? Or
it kind of put some pieces together in my head where I'm like, well, I kind of want to pick up the pen again because I used to write rhymes.
Okay.
But I haven't in a really long time. I'm really, like, I listen to a lot of Joe Satriani, Steve Vai, Malmsteen, those kinds of guys. And as a guitarist, like a shredder, I typically write like instrumental shred rock stuff, but then I use all the drums as me beatboxing. Okay. And I also took that a step further where instead of looping live, I'm playing both the guitar and beatboxing at the same time, which I call beatbox metal. And the article's not out yet, but I did recently get interviewed by a newspaper, and the guy interviewing me was like, I used all my resources. I couldn't find anything else doing that, so I'm going to credit you as the inventor of beatbox metal.
Wow. That is sweet.
Yeah, dude.
That is sweet.
I hope he puts that in the article, actually. It's not out yet, but yeah, that's going to be cool.
That is awesome. I feel like for some reason that's a halfway decent segue into one of your tracks.
Sure.
Yeah. Is that so? The tracks that you sent me, is that kind of what's going on? There's beatboxing and then you laid guitar over that,
yes. This is not what I would call beatbox metal. If anybody listening hears this and you just want to label everything I do as beatbox metal, fine. Let the people listening and whoever likes my stuff just take it over, whatever you want to make it. But this is from my EP called Violent Tendencies, which came out October 1st here in 2024. This stuff is a lot darker than the album I'm working on right now.
Okay.
I made dark stuff specifically for Halloween. So
okay, all right. Well, yeah, we got a couple weeks and then Halloween's hitting.
Yeah, and I got another announcement. I'm playing at Ramshackle Brewing in Jonesville, Michigan this Friday at 7.
Okay.
That same night, I'm announcing another single with somebody else that's coming out on Halloween.
F&A.
Yeah.
F&A, that's sweet. So is this then track 4 then would be the title track to the LP?
Track 4, yeah. Yeah, track 4, Violent Tendencies, that is the title track.
Okay, cool. Well, then let's get into that, and we'll play that track, and then we'll come back and do a little more interview.
Sounds good. Hope you all like it.
Wow. That the very last note reminded me of the beginning of Motley Crue's "Kickstart My Heart."
Yeah, that's a classic whammy bar trick for sure.
Yeah, man, shit. That was a hard track.
It's funny that that song I've been playing for a long time, but it's a lot more aggressive than any of the other songs on the album. The rest of them are just like eerie.
Okay. Okay.
But then there's that one, and I know it just kind of sounds like a really hard kick drum, but that's me going, and I put a bit crusher on it to make it like more boxy and hard. And then I went on top of it, so I layered it. I do the same thing live, and then that whole song. This is for music nerds out there, I mostly focused on the diminished scale and Phrygian mode for any scale theorists out there, but it was it was very riff focused, and then all the shredding, I don't know how it comes off to anybody listening. I do plan this stuff out.
Yeah.
Like I pour over melody and harmony, and does this bar sound interesting? Like I am kind of like a rapper. I'm looking at it. Is my guitar, does it have anything to say that's interesting in this moment?
Yeah.
Is it can I put some crazy technique in here? I have another song called Malign where the whole second half of it is me just stringing wild technique after another one. But yeah.
So, I mean, in the process of making this stuff, like how much of it was forethought? Like, do you literally sit and write music notes, or do you just kind of shred?
So I typically, with that one, I had that simple do 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 do, and I had my like live practice rig, so my little PA and my microphone and my guitar all hooked up to it, and I'll loop that, and I'm like, it caught my ear because it just felt good, and I like the sound of it.
Yeah.
Then I start playing around with tonalities. I'm trying the Dorian scale. I'm trying harmonic minor, diminished, whatever. I'm playing around with different stuff to see what fits, what's standing out to me. Did I just play something out of the blue that I like? If so, what notes go with that? Where do I take that? How do I alter the scale in this part to make it kind of go in a direction that seems like it makes sense?
Yeah.
From like an instrumental story standpoint.
Okay.
And the whole Violent Tendencies EP is like, you ever drop a glass and it breaks, or you run your car into something and you have that moment of shock and your brain is just trying to deal with it for a second.
Yeah.
I took that and I was like, how severe would that feeling be if you just lost your temper and killed somebody?
Oh, right.
And you're standing there over their body going, I just did that. What now?
Right.
What happens now? This is insane. So that EP kind of, I was trying to represent that feeling and what might be going on in a person's head before that moment through instrumentation.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah.
Rock on.
I guess.
Yeah.
Happy Halloween, everybody.
And the whole creative process a lot of times is open to, improv. I don't know how you are, but a lot of times I can freestyle for an hour, but will it make a coherent song?
Yeah.
Not necessarily. You know what I mean? So it almost reminds me a little bit of that, where like if I come up with a hook and record a hook or something like that, and then just freestyle in the middle, and then slap another hook on or something like that, it's almost like we're able to come up with things on the fly, and that's kind of like what you were doing, but more methodically.
Yeah, like I sit there for a really long time and try and work out interesting little phrasings.
Okay.
Like the whole first, I guess, verse part of that song, I was using this special type of pickup in my guitar called a sustainiac, where I flip a switch and it holds the note for as long as I want it.
Okay.
And I just kind of bent that up to hit different tones, hit the other switch to make it pull some harmonics out and make it more screechy. Then I started playing other lines. But the second half, where I bring the wah pedal in, that's the only song so far I've recorded with a wah pedal.
Okay.
And it just, I just wanted to slowly, like just that slowly opening filter sound. And then from there, it was like this person's just losing their mind in the story out of rage. So that's what the rest of that is describing, from that bubbly, chaotic noise I'm doing on the guitar all the way down to me scraping the pick with the wah pedal. I don't know. I don't know how much of this is actually
How did you feel about the wah pedal overall?
Oh, I love using a wah pedal. I try to stay away from it because I become really reliant on the wah pedal when I have it on.
Yeah.
Like when I have it attached to my pedal board, I tend to use it all the time.
Okay.
And that isn't great.
Yeah. To be too much on one thing.
Yeah.
To be having like a whole song of only 808s or something or whatever. Like. Although I think it's been done.
Just 10 minutes of that.
Boom.
Yeah.
Oh man. So having come up through the open mic scene and kind of making a name for yourself in that way, how did that work for you? Like, what was your first? Do you remember your first open mic?
Yeah.
And if so, like, what was like your experience in southeastern Michigan, the Detroit metro area? Were you received well, and you liked going to it, and you made a pretty decent name for yourself, but you'd like to expand? I mean, talk a little bit about that. Like,
well, I got pretty obsessed with open mics because I was like a year out of high school. You don't know what you're going to do with your life a year out of high school.
Yeah.
I didn't anyway. So we, sorry, fist bumping people. So I wanted to try stand-up comedy was what it was. And so I Googled open mics nearby, and it showed this place, this brewery in Brighton. And I was like, okay, I'll go there. I go there, and it turns out it's all music.
okay.
And I was like, well, comedy's not going to go well with that. I can just tell already. So the next week I brought my guitar, my acoustic guitar, and I played some of these really dark, fucked up songs. I wrote lyrics back then.
Oh, they were your original songs?
Yeah.
Okay.
I need to learn some covers, but I don't typically learn covers.
Yeah.
So I would play those, and people liked me. I started making friends and all that. But then the beatboxing came in, and it was like I had found out about it 2 days prior or whatever, started trying it, and then that Wednesday I was like on the mic. I'm like, do you mind if I try something? And I just went, and it went pow through the speaker, and I was hooked immediately.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's a superpower.
Yeah.
There. And then later I found out a guy named Reeps One, also from England, and he's the one that made me want to get good at it.
Okay.
Like he was all like he pioneered that sound.
Okay.
That technique. That's all diaphragm.
Yeah.
It's so intense physically.
Well, and I like the fact you've had 2 references so far to the UK.
Yeah.
And I've been lucky enough to form a partnership with WolfMan Radio in the UK, so this is going to also get played in the UK.
WolfMan Radio. This is Wolfman Jack, and I know you stole my name. I'm just kidding. I shout out to American Graffiti and George Lucas and all those guys.
Oh shit!
Yeah. Great movie.
Hell yeah!
Yeah.
What about Bob?
What about Bob? Yeah. It is Bob up in here. But yeah, to answer your question, it was received well, especially later on once I started refining it and not sounding like trash. Then I got into the Milford area and all 3 open mics that are all gone now. Yeah. But I used to go to those all the time. I got so into open mics that I went to 3 of them in different cities in one night.
Wow.
Like I signed up at one, Or I got to one, signed up at one. I didn't even know if it would work out because there was no online sign up. You had to sign up when you got there.
Yeah.
So I went to the one in Brighton, signed up. I can't remember where the other two were.
Okay.
But I played there, booked out immediately. Everybody knew me by that time, so nobody thought I was just being, a piece of shit. So I leave there, go to the other one, sign up, play really quick. Then I go to the other one, play at the tail end of that one.
Yeah.
And then I went home, and I was like, well, that seems like a lot of work for not too much payoff.
Yeah, yeah.
But
social clout.
Yeah, whatever. I guess it was cool.
Yeah.
I went to 3 open mics in one night. I was proud of that for a while, and
Right.
it kind of fizzled out. But, yeah. And then later I started playing shows. And actually, it was Mr. Demented. Shout out to Phil.
Oh, shout out to him. He made a beat for one of my best songs.
Yeah, he's the one. He saw me at the Brighton open mic, the first one I ever
Yeah.
went to. He wasn't there at the first one, but he saw me later on, and we already knew each other. But he was like, "You need to come do that for a hip hop crowd."
Yeah.
And I wasn't sheltered by my parents. I was sheltered by my environment. Like it's all white.
Yeah.
And only later on did I find out that the reason everybody's flying that Confederate flag is not quite as wholesome of a reason as I thought. So
Right.
So I was like, I don't think they'll like me. They'll be like, yeah, we've seen beatboxing before. We don't. Why
Yeah.
are you here?
We're not
You know?
down with that.
Yeah. So actually, I hadn't found out about the history of Howell yet at that time. That came later, and I was like, oh, that's why everybody looks at me like that.
Right.
So
you're not supposed to be down with those guys, but we are.
Yeah. So yeah, shout out to him for getting me into hip hop, and hip hop culture itself has been good to me in all kinds of crazy ways.
Well, like, talk to me about the bio killers and starting the Shattered Dreams and stuff.
Yeah, so I had gotten into like hip hop and stuff. I had gotten to play with some pretty big acts. Like I got put on a bill with KRS-One before I knew who he was.
Oh wow! You just admitted that, man.
Yeah, like I found out the guy was like, "Do you want to be on this show?" I'm like, "I just want to play shows."
Was that at the Blind Pig?
Yeah, that was at the Blind Pig.
Okay.
And I actually had a dream of mine come true that night where, that footage of like Woodstock 99, Limp Bizkit's playing and the whole sea of people's going. I wanted that to one of my bass drops. And it happened that night.
Okay.
The place was packed out. I had just met KRS up in the green room, and he was super nice. I had to interrupt his conversation to get past him.
Okay.
That's how I met him.
Okay.
So so I'm on stage. The crowd's pretty hyped up because they know he'll be on later. So of course you're going to be excited.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, if you're feeling me, I want to get low. To my shock, the whole front half of the audience gets down with me.
Oh wow!
I'm like, when I get to the drop, I want everybody to start jumping and just as hard as you possibly can. And I did this. What was the drop? That was the drop. Okay. The whole front half of 500-600 people, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Just fucking violent jumping.
Love it.
And I was like out of breath, but also had plenty more.
Right.
It was that adrenaline thing.
Right.
So that happened, and then I went back upstairs. KRS is gone because I wanted to apologize for interrupting his conversation,
Sure.
even though because what happened there was I was sitting on the couch, and I was like, "Oh, I have to get downstairs. I'm playing between each act." Oh boy! And he's talking with this couple about the Latin language, and I'm like, well, I don't have any room to go over here, so I go by him, and he sticks his arm out to shake my hand. I was like, hi, I'm Jake. He's like, yes, you are. I was like, I gotta get downstairs, bro. But I talked to him later, and he was really cool about it. He was real quick to give me props. Really
what's
nice
up.
guy. But sorry, that was a detour.
It's all good.
I got to do stuff like that, and then I got put on this random show out in some place called Hillsdale I'd never heard of.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's an hour and a half away. How does anybody know who I am out there? So I was like, well, I've never driven that far before, but I'll do that. And it was some woman I had never heard of made this show.
Yeah.
And then she dropped the show. And then one of the acts picked it up and put it on at a different venue.
Okay.
I went out there, met everybody. We got along incredibly. And Biokillers was one of those acts, and we got real tight real quick.
Okay.
Nobody remembers that woman exists either. It's this wild fluke.
Rest in peace.
Yeah, it was this weird fluke thing. And so Klepp from Biokillers wanted to form this collective, or maybe it was both of them wanted to, called Shattered Dreams Entertainment. And basically it's off of the idea that when your dreams break, you could pick up the pieces and move forward.
Okay.
No matter what stage in life you're in.
That's cool.
And they asked this other guy if he wanted to be in it, and he wound up joining, and then I joined shortly afterwards because I still kind of have this drifter mentality. Like, I don't want to commit to anything because I need to be able to move in my own way. So I was like, I mean, I don't even want to join a band. Like, I don't wanna.
Right.
So one night I was playing in Morenci at this place called the Angry Inch, and Klepp brought it up. He's like, man, we really want you on this thing. You'd be a great fit. And I was like, well, tell me what it is. He's like, we just work together and grow together. Like, there's no real commitment other than to yourself, and we all help each other.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm in.
That helps. That helps.
That's nothing extra except now I'm doing my solo thing, plus I have friends.
Yeah, right. That's cool.
Yeah, so and it's been amazing, dude. Klepp and I talk every day, talking about, like, I'm working on this today. I got this done. This is the next plan, and we're continuously moving all the time.
Yeah, that pushes you then.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's something that Knoxx and I do.
Nice.
You know? So with that, I want to segue kind of into one of these other tracks. Do you have a preference which one?
People really seem to be liking Shadows on the Wall.
Okay, rock on. So give us a little intro to this song and like the creation of it.
This was the first song I wrote when I learned the harmonic minor scale.
Okay.
Which is just a regular minor scale with a sharp 7.
Yeah.
For any music theory people. Throws all the chords that are involved on the scale get changed. Mm-hmm. When you do that, and it creates for a much spookier, darker tone, and it's very popular in classical music.
Yeah. Okay. Rock on. So the full name of the song?
Shadows on the Wall.
Okay, so we are going to dig into Shadows on the Wall off of the Violent Tendencies EP by Beatbox Jake. Damn, bro. Where the hell did that come from?
Nothing like a bunch of screechy guitar noise to let you know he likes Slayer.
Right.
Yeah, I love Raining Blood.
Yeah, big Slayer fan, for sure.
That's real quick.
But I want to thank everybody for listening to this show and supporting Detainment Radio. He's been doing some good stuff for the community, and I can't thank him enough for having me on.
Yeah, I'm glad you came on, man. Glad you came on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I said, we have the partnerships in the UK and Chicago.
Yep.
Illinational Radio. Shout out to Shaw and Nino. And shout out to WolfMan Radio in the UK.
Yeah.
And Beatbox Jake. So what's going on with you? Where can people see you in the near future?
So the next show I got coming up, I'm going to be playing at Ramshackle Brewing in Jonesville, Michigan. I have to say the state now because I play out of state and stuff. Not bragging.
Yeah.
Not bragging at all. I'm just, taking moments to.
That's what happens, man.
Shout myself out egregiously. Friday, October 18th. And then on the 15th, I'm going to be playing the Rex Theater in Morenci, Michigan.
Okay.
That's going to be a pretty good show. Currently, I am just kind of promoting the Violent Tendencies EP. I have a single coming out that I can't properly announce yet. But I also will have an album coming out next year that's going to be a lot more like what you're used to hearing from me if you've seen me play live.
Okay.
Less spooky, but it's going to be more of a range, an emotional and tonal range of stuff. Everything from dark and edgy to bright, fun, pumping music, and then chill stuff and emotional stuff, all kinds of crap.
Yeah. So what about the streams? Do you have this EP is released on the streams?
Yeah, it's on everything.
Spotify, so they find you just by searching Beatbox Jake? Or
Yeah, you can Google me, actually. Funny enough, I pop up on Google properly now.
Sweet.
Like, when I first found out that happened, I lost my mind. I was like, this is what happens when you Google Aerosmith, just with less pictures. This is crazy.
Hey, but we're building that. We're building that base.
Yeah. Next stop, Wikipedia.
Fucking
baby.
Yeah. Oh, you could probably start that page on your own if you felt like it.
Maybe. I've looked into it just so I don't know why. Other than who doesn't want to be on Wikipedia. But,
sure, right.
But
that means you matter.
I matter, man. I'm the artist. I don't know. Maybe. But yeah, I'm also going to be working on a joint project, which will likely be coming out next year as well.
I like joints.
So that's our show. Funny enough, I still haven't tried weed. I will one day. I do plan on it.
It's all good,
but I haven't done it yet.
You don't need to. There's no requirement in life.
Yeah, the DARE program lied to me. I've never once been peer pressured into anything.
That means you know yourself and you're willing to stand up and stick up for yourself.
I could chalk it up to everybody else being respectful of it.
There you go. That too.
That's a shout out to everybody.
I give a shout out to everybody except for the country of Israel bombing people, but I shout out everybody.
Yeah,
I love almost everybody.
People are cool. Persons are not. No, persons are cool. People are not.
Yeah.
Is it the other way? I don't know.
Something like that.
But I know this isn't my show, but thank you everybody for watching. I appreciate it. Thank you to Mark for having me on here. I'm gonna I guess we're going to play one more song, and then we got to get me to,
Number 2?
Yeah. Do this next song's called The Shape. This is the second song on the Violent Tendencies EP, and then we're going to move on to Sacramento Knoxx.
Sacramento Knoxx.
Swing.
Swing. You are listening to Detainment Radio. are listening to Detainment Radio. Yo, yo, yo. This is Detainment Radio, supported by Illinational Radio and WolfMan Radio in the UK. What up, though? Representing Detroit and the entertainment diaspora thereof. We've got Beatbox Jake in the studio. We've got Sacramento Knoxx in the studio. We got some heavyweight hitters in the scene, y'all. Baby, baby. You are listening to Detainment Radio with Chauncey the Thriller, Beatbox Jake, and this segment's guest, Sacramento Knoxx. Yeah. And I just want to give a shout out to all of the indigenous people around the world, because today is Indigenous Peoples Day. And there was an event in 2014 in Clark Park on this very day.
Yeah.
So many years ago, when Knoxx and I were first kind of like solidifying our connection, our friendship or whatever. And back then, they didn't really call it Indigenous Peoples Day. What did they call it?
Columbus Day.
Who's that guy?
That guy is a notorious villain. But that the event you're talking about in 2014, we call that the last Columbus Day in Detroit.
That was the last Columbus Day in Detroit, because the very next year,
Yeah.
didn't they start calling it Indigenous Peoples Day?
So yeah, well, we started pushing that with the group. We started trying to push that in there, so we'd do events on that day, and we do film screenings, we do performances, like just try to be active in that day without kind of like having to talk about Christopher Columbus. Like, you know, I feel like in a very small way, that's like trying to celebrate Hitler. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like, let's not make a Hitler Day anymore, and then just do some other shit. You know?
Yeah, yeah. It's weird how, you know, the history gets written by the people who win, right?
Yeah.
And they kind of make what, from our perspective, the indigenous peoples, they kind of make what we view as the bad guys, make them into the good guys. That's the hero.
Yeah.
Like America, or this land called Turtle Island, had never been discovered before, at least by them. But we knew that it was here the whole time. This was our sustenance.
Yeah. And I mean, when you think about the word indigenous, that just means like where you're from. So I feel like that term is good. Like it recognizes where you're from. Like, you know, people from Ireland are Irish and things like that. Like those are still, to me, in a lot of ways, indigenous ways and like that when you think about that word. Because like you could say indigenous Detroiters, people who's been in Detroit for a long time and things like that. You can just kind of use that word though. And I think when you talk about here, you should just say Turtle Island and the people on Turtle Island. So I think like that distinguishes a little bit of what's going on and shit.
Yeah, so what is the significance of Turtle Island?
I'm not going to get into that long story, but it's basically what it was called before. It was called North America. It was Turtle Island.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's everywhere from Canada, what's called Canada, what's called the United States, and what's called Mexico right now.
That's Turtle Island?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And basically, if you look at it, it could be kind of shaped like a turtle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a bunch of memes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You know what I mean? So, ladies and gentlemen, on Detainment Radio, our next guest is Sacramento Knoxx.
Yeah.
What up, though?
What up?
So, I guess tell us a little bit about kind of what you're currently up to and what you're currently working on.
I feel like I'm always working on music. I've been out of the music game for like 2 years now, to be honest. And you've seen my my track record, just like moving around, just being active. And I haven't been active for 2 years, so this is kind of like a reemergence into the music world and getting back into there. I've been making music for a couple days now.
All right.
No, but I've been doing it for a long time, but I've been working on a project in Canada just recently and getting that done, and that's been awesome. I'm going to debut it on Walpole Island. In December, there's going to be 4 things happening. There's going to be an art installation with all the music happening in there so people can, like, it's like a listening session party for the album, but everyone gets to do art and have a good time. And then I'm going to do a Spirit Plate concert, and then I'm going to do a workshop around SWAT, like strike weakness, opportunities, and threats with some leaders, and then I'm gonna do an open mic. So I'm gonna do 4 things in the next coming months.
Sweet. Okay. Do you have a date yet for the open mic session, or?
I don't. It's not. I won't say it's not available to the public, but it's for, it's it's for the island and like that small community over there. So it's like it's debuting there first, and I'm like just kind of activating or helping activate that community with music. You know, 'cause it's like it's a small native community, and it's just to do my fucking international shit over there is cool.
Yeah, yeah. Like, so what island, just so people can know?
Walpole Island, and that's right across from Illinational.
Okay.
And you take a ferry to get there.
Okay, and that's there's a large population of indigenous people there. Or?
Yep.
Okay, that's a native reserve, and it says unceded territory.
It's a territory. Yeah.
Right, unceded territory.
Yeah.
So what does that mean, unceded territory?
Like, to put it in short, it's just kind of land that's never been colonized. So, like, just the thing in that way, it's never been taken over or removed or just kind of fucking terrible shit to it. I mean, terrible shit happens everywhere, but like in terms of that, colonialism and oppression and resistance and all that, it's been a spot of resistance for a long time.
Yeah. Okay. And how do you see yourself playing into that resistance?
I'm gonna provide the soundtrack.
Okay, that's what's up.
I'm provide the soundtrack. I'm gonna do this project I'm working on. It's called the 7 Grandfather Teachings, and it's talking about 7 like virtues we look at. Like, kind of, it's a tool system, like, and it's like a code or like principles people can use, integrity, like those things, like to help.
What are the 7 teachings?
Oh man, here we go. It's funny because I always feel like I forget them, but I don't. It's bravery, humility, respect, honesty, truth, love, and then what's this? I missed one. Wisdom. Yeah. I got them all, but it used to be hard to remember all those things. Like, you don't think about them, but like when you think about them in that group order, that patch of stuff, it's always
right.
But that's a good thing because those are things that Native people could use to better their lives. It's not like a strict code or like it's not like a religion or anything. It's just like, what I'm saying? It's just like
a guiding principle.
Yeah, it's like to me it's like an energy. It's a verb. It's a noun. Like, these things are verbs, nouns, and teachings, and like everyone has their own way they interact with that and fuck around with that and find out.
Yeah, right. So what inspired you to do that project?
A tool set. Like, I was thinking like, what could I help provide a community with? Like, okay, I was like, all right, let me bridge 2 communities, like non-native community and the native community together. Like, people are familiar with that, but let me reintroduce them to those teachings and things, and like come from my perspective and a creative way to really like balance and play with those things or experience those things. And then for non-natives, it's like an introduction to see about Native people, because a lot of people just see Native people as kind of in the past, and like what I'm doing is futuristic, and like we're in the future and stuff like that. So it's like, it's kind of like bridging those kind of education and cultural awareness, it's mostly a cultural exchange, because like I don't want to, like, it's not just for Native people and it's not just for non-Native people, or just like how things can create a division. Like, the whole point of it is to share, cultural exchange.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was there a similar vibe behind the project of Spirit Plate?
Spirit Plate is a little bit different. That one is an album that's been taking almost 10 years now. Like, it started as my kind of debut album called Creating the Noise, but then I made some other albums because the whole COVID shit fucked that up. Spirit Plate. I had a whole world tour lined up, was going all over the world, and then fucking COVID just ruined
We just got back from Toronto.
Yeah.
Landed in Detroit and were supposed to go to Chicago and didn't make it to Chicago.
It was about to pop off Chicago, and then the other ones were coming. And
Oklahoma.
Yeah, that would have been great. Like, we would travel. I mean, we still travel the world, but like to travel to like New Zealand and fucking Africa and other parts of Europe and South America, like all them shits were lining up because of my network and my touring homies and shit like that.
Yeah. So you have been to France.
Yeah.
What happened there? Like, what did you perform there, and what was the group that like welcomed you there?
I went to France 3 times. So the first time, twice. I performed in Paris twice. Or the first time was just in Paris, and that was for a specific event, like a cultural event. Like, I was a special guest speaker and a performer. So me and Cisco went out there, and we did parts of Spirit Plate over there. Did about 45-minute set. and debuted it over there. And then the second time I did an experimental jazz tour. So I was like on my beat machine and my controllers and all my tools, and it was just kind of fucking around. Like there's never the same set list. It was all brand new, and that was the whole point of it. It's like we're just gonna jazz hip hop shit and have all that stuff going, and that's what that was. Yeah. But that one was, we went around France, so we were in little towns and little areas. Fuck, I don't even remember the names. Like the one places that stand out for me was Vendôme, obviously Paris, and there's Torre la Rochelle, and that's all I can remember because those were like 3 big main points for me there. Mm-hmm. But we played a bunch of other little towns and stuff like that, and that shit was cool. Yeah, it was real cool, yo. Yeah, played with a band, like everyone was freestyling, or like it was jazz, so the experimental jazz. So the point was like to mix kind of jazz instrumentation with beats and like synths and all that shit.
Okay, so, yeah, very hip hoppy, jazzy. There's a lot of improv in that.
Or like some people, it's part noise music too. I don't know if you're familiar with noise, but it was like noise music too, kind of like just going off. Yeah.
Rock on. Okay, so the parts of the 7 grandfather teachings or whatever, we've got some tracks that we're going to play from that. Yeah. I'm looking at this honesty track here.
Yes, let's play that.
Tell me about that.
Honesty, like that one, it was just mainly talking about a little bit about myself and people that we just need to slow down. You know, like slow down a little bit. Like like the hook is like, honestly, I should slow down. Like that's kind of the main thing about it, is like living fast life, living addictions, living all these things that, you know what I'm saying, like honestly that I could slow down with, you know. Like coming from different experiences I had and different struggles with addiction or struggles with mental health and all these things to, you know, to a more generalized with other people. So I kind of talk about my shit in there, what I got going on, and then like also my relation to honesty and being honest and stuff, and like what does it take to be honest and things. So yeah,
and you produce all your own music, correct?
Yep.
So like the beat behind it, was there like a certain texture or feeling you were going for? Or?
Yeah, it was this crazy sample. I remember at the time, but I sampled so much I use little clips and pieces from everywhere. I always forget them. It's in the machine though. It's in, like, if I go look, I'll have the reference number or the reference thing to remember what it was. But it was like, I think this is from one of the Bruce Lee movies. I don't fucking remember. Like it was just old, grainy. Like the sample was stretched and needed some bits or like more kilohertz in it because it was all thinned out and shit. So okay, but yeah, I really like it. It's like rough. It's like rough but smooth, and it's like, I'm pretty sure it's from a Bruce Lee movie because I was digging through these, like the soul style of Bruce Lee movies. They're fucking out cold. They're out cold. Yeah. So like I went and dug through that and found that, and that one just hit. Because like digging through samples, some hit and looped, and I think this one is partially looped. Yeah. Or maybe it's a loop one. I think it's a loop one.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's dig into honesty. This is one of the 7 grandfather teachings on this new album that Sacramento Knoxx is working on. Yeah. Premiered here on Detainment Radio.
Yeah, boy.
What up? Honesty. Yeah. Let's go. Listen. Hey, yeah. I had way too many ski trips, made too many enemies. Gotta flip the script, her kisses blowing me to Hennessy. Way too many legs moving, got me feeling centipede. Gotta make my name proven, telling God they envy me. And grew up in a world where the lies were gold. Smiles on the surface, but the hearts turn cold. Behind every facade, there's a story untold. But the honesty burns like a fire uncontrolled. Let it go, breathe it in, then you show who you is. Honestly, let it live, quality, don't trip. When I travel international, collecting all the tips, then I'm handling all the animals and put them on the wrist. It's just Indian shit, make a million big. I just really exist, have to lift up the kids. Elders listen to them, they dropping gems from my friends. I'm out for blessings again. again, and then I'll let you know when. Yeah.
Honestly, I should slow down before I drown. I'm too brown to be acting clown. Unless it's funny to me, we take flight. I know what's wrong, but we know what's right. Honestly, I should slow down before I drown. I'm too brown to be acting clown. Unless it's funny to me, we take flight. I know what's wrong, but we know what's right.
Addicted to the bottle, Snow White, hard or soft. Gotta touch the bottom when we make it to the top. There's monsters lurking, so I gotta stay ready to drop. My arm is working, so I gotta clap back with the shots. Chasing that feeling, it sounds so appealing. Dancing with the devil, loud bass, loud treble. Don't it feel special when you blocking out the mental? Run away from problems, now you lying out your dentals. Can I pick the real, let the freedom sing? No matter how you deal, you have to do your thing. Life's a spinning wheel, gotta ride the meaning. All these nightmares from this epic dreaming. So here I stand with my heart on my sleeve. I refuse to deceive, I cannot betray me. Honest life, it's your day. Please survive, it's your day. I'm alive, it's your day. Hurry, drive, it's your day. Yeah.
Honestly, I should slow down before I drown. I'm too brown to be acting clown. Unless it's funny to me, we take flight. I know what's wrong, but we know what's right. Honestly, I should slow down before I drown. I'm too brown to be acting clown. Unless it's funny to me, we take flight. I know what's wrong, but we know what's right.
13 moons to never tell a lie. Live the truth, your spirit really never dies. I know I do what I say and say what I mean. I grew wings when I stayed on Elder Street. Flip bags of Yola, got wise like Yoda. Rookie turned soldier, soldier turned older. Then I dropped some habits, took the turkey, went colder. Lots of shrugged shoulders when my face was on posters. Bigfoot showing up like I own something. Feeling good as I should, got this jumping. I don't say nothing, I talk in song lyrics. I hope you really hear it, I hope you feel the spirit. Rockin' launch opinions, I pop the lock and get it. I take the flock and sit in and shepherd all the wicked. Taking all the minutes, I'm really being honest. I'm sound painting pictures, really truly sonic artist.
Honestly, I should slow down before I drown. I'm too brown to be acting clown. Unless it's funny to me, we take flight. I know what's wrong, but we know what's right. Honestly, I should slow down before I drown. I'm too brown to be acting clown. Unless it's funny to me, we take flight. I know what's wrong, but we know what's right.
Yeah. Sacramento Knoxx, y'all. The track is called Honesty. Man. So honestly, I love that track.
Yeah.
One of the 7 grandfather teachings. So with the work that you do on the island there and in the community, you're pretty active in the community trying to activate it. What does that mean to activate the community?
It depends. So it's like when you look at the goals of what a group may want. So it's like different, like how power works. People look at a leader and then the leader's like, I got these ideas and things like that. But I work from servant leadership, meaning like I try to hear what everybody wants and needs and try to find a good middle point from everybody's input. So that's a little bit different of activating, you know, versus, I guess that's a good word too, activating. But like for me, it's like to use music in a way that is enriching or good for your life, you know, like culture, like the culture, like just to be in music and do music. Like it is a lifestyle and it's also a business. So there's like 2 kind of portions to it, and like really getting people to be a part of the culture part of it, you know?
Yeah.
Because I really can't make Drakes and Kendrick Lamars and shit. I can't turn people into that. Like,
Yeah.
you know, I might be planting a seed, but I can't really like.
Right.
I don't have the tools and resources to really pop somebody off like that.
Yeah.
Can barely get it going for myself sometimes.
Well, I mean, I guess speaking of tools and resources, like, and the work that you do in the community, like, what are some of the things that you do with the community outside of just music to kind of try to plant a seed or to inspire somebody?
I would say I'm an educator, so I do education, like education with music, education with leadership, about power, how it works, and all that shit. It's in one way to look at power, because there's all types of ways to think about it. It's just the ability to control your circumstance, but it's also like a fire, you know? Like It can help cook your food, keep you warm. You have to manage it a certain way. You can't just touch it or fuck with it a certain way. Like, you gotta, work with the fire a certain way, because it'll burn your house down. It'll burn you.
Right.
So it's like power could do the same shit.
Right. Well, rock on. Well, I guess in dealing with another one of the tracks on the seven grandfather teachings, I'm looking at humility, respect, bravery, and out of those tracks, which one is your favorite? Humility, respect, bravery.
I don't have it's like asking what's your favorite kid, but I have a preference of my feelings, because other times when I'm in my emotions, it'll change on how the vibe is.
Mm-hmm.
But the one I showed you earlier, that was a good one, the Truth one, but it's not finished and I don't have a copy of that. But that was one I was playing earlier, Truth, with the drill style and the native drums together. That was like a cool mixture that I haven't heard before, and I really like how that one came out. But if you're gonna play one more, I would say play Bravery.
Okay. Yeah, so I got Bravery here queued up.
Yeah.
But give us a little background behind it. Like, what was the idea? What was the inspiration? What were you doing on the day that you started it?
That was the first song I worked on, and like, it's kind of just I feel like it's generic or general, and it's like to be brave to something. Like, for me, it's like to be brave to do music again, to live my gifts and talents, and to do that shit and not be scared, or like oh shit, or like, you know what I'm saying, have to deal with the slander and defamation I went through and be all scared to be out in the open and shit like that. But like, being able to be brave and trust my people and my spirit and my energy and all that shit to actually do it and stuff. So that's part of it. It's also being brave to choose a path. I also talk about other paths, like, it's like, in one way, you know what I'm saying, like, there's a big drug problem where I'm at, so it's like, you want to choose a good life or you want to choose the drug life and things like that. And it's kind of talking about that shit too, like, inside there.
Okay. And the making of the beat, was there anything in particular that stood out as far as like samples or like the mood you were in when you made the beat?
Yes. If anybody uses native instruments, I used a VST called Arcus, and it's just like this. It's like a combo or a combinator. It puts a bunch of basically like an orchestra together for you, and you can play with the intensity of how instruments come in and out of it. And this one had violins and like cellos in it, and the strings were just really loud and with it. And that's one of my favorite ones, because it sounds like it's a sample, but it ain't. It's from the Arcus instrument and how it plays it out like that. Because it's basically, people use that stuff to score movies and shit. So
okay,
yeah.
That's sweet. All right, well, here we go. We're going to bump Bravery here on Detainment Radio.
Catch it moving every hour. Grandfather teaching me all about the power. These plans keep reaching me, making me a scholar. Education, bravery, every cup of coffee off the breath of the elderly while tales spoken softly. Jails all around me, trying to break my soul down. Sales all final when I bought up all my fears now. I used to be scared of my shadow. Now I play prayer songs with the turtle rattle. Asking for the balance when I gotta battle myself. Learn all these things while I drown out for the help. Walking through the mud with two left-sided boots. Gotta keep my heart brave, gotta elevate my suit. It's been a hard day, turn my stress down to mute. You learn to waste quick when creating rules too. Honoring is bravery, ordering myself to sleep. I know I got gold, I know I can't fold. Honoring is bravery, wondering myself to sleep. I know I got gold, I know I can't fold. The Tails wild with the head flipping. The quarter smiles every turn of mission. Just watch the tradition and watch the opposition sloping on horizons. Gotta get my license, a thrill, I'm on the island. I was brave today, put tobacco when I woke up. Grateful when I was able to put some smoke up. Gave thanks to all the answers to my problems. Paved waves inside to get into my options. Shit ain't easy when you shine timid. Huge hurdles when you can't reach the minimum, it's off the limits. Opposite of bravery is fear. Stand strong right here, never move for anything that isn't looking clear. Hop about the frame, producing change, don't switch lanes. I'm standing up before your soul flame. Get about them handcuffs and break the chain. Big courage comes and cures the pain. Yeah. Honoring is bravery, wondering myself to sleep. I know I got gold, I know I can't fold. Honoring is bravery, wondering myself to sleep. I know I got gold, I know I can't fold. Blocker, that's me with the ammo, me with the famo, me looking Rambo, bringing bravery of hands full is the anthem. Ableton and Pro Tools holding all the items. Sitting here writing prayers from all my little teachings. Hope to God it reaches all the trenches and the meetings. Life's tough, but what a mess for feeling all these feelings. Tear the club up and blow the roof up off the ceiling. Stand strong when the word getting spoken right. Be the voice inside, no need for token light. Keep the wig popped up for that open sight. We get emotion right, we get emotion right. Waves of bravery dropping swiftly. I hope you get the download quickly. Honoring the soul that's inside me. I keep a hold, never can divide me. Honoring is bravery, wondering myself to sleep. I know I got gold, I know I can't fold. Honoring is bravery, wondering myself to sleep. I know I got gold, I know I can't fold. Honoring is bravery. Honoring is bravery. I know I got gold. I know I can't fold.
Yo, so that was the track "Bravery" by Sacramento Knoxx, and yeah, and man, it's been a time here on Detainment Radio. I've actually really appreciated Beatbox Jake, Sacramento Knoxx, and I don't know, like, so what are some tips or some tools that you work with to activate the community or work with other artists and stuff like that to kind of connect and bring out?
Yeah, I think one thing is to like distinguish stuff, and like I learned that I'm selling art and I'm not selling entertainment. So because that's the distinguishment. So it's like I'm selling art and that has a different, like art can be entertaining and entertainment can be artistic. So like the art, like I'm selling art, so I'm selling it in a fine arts way, or like I've learned to do it that way because the entertainment shit is tough. We all know it's tough.
Now, how does that differ from how you sell it? Like if you, instead of approaching like a record label, you're approaching an institution, or like how?
Oh, I'm like anybody really, like independent groups, small businesses, cultural organizations, schools, festivals, different things like that. Like that, like to pitch it out there is like that's what, like what I'm trying to say is like I'm selling art. So I was like, when I have that in mind, like there's a different supply and demand inside there because there's a lot of saturation in entertainment. So there's like the supply is massive and the demand is low, versus a certain art situation, the supply is low and the demand is high. So it's like, it's just kind of business principles of like, oh, let me fill that demand, let me supply that demand over there. So
Yeah.
let me do that. And what I've used to do those tools are like everyone should have an EPK, like different EPKs, like a paper EPK, a video EPK, like EPK for their singles, EPK for their projects, and then a general one of who they are and what they do. And that helped a lot because, like, you know, you're basically selling yourself to people. So if like long they can see a menu and what they're getting, they're gonna cop that. And then like a website changed my shit, changed it up massive for me. Like EPKs, the website, and then networking, like making different network connections, like with different people and things like that. I personally like working with up and comers, not up and comers, but people with like like a lot of passion and drive, and maybe they're not like don't have a certain following or whatever. You know, I don't know. Like I collaborated with different levels of people, but that's kind of my favorite because it's like it's what important for me to educate or like share, pass down tools. Like those are fun for me. But I mean, even like not even new artists, like just artists in general, like share all these tools and strategies and things like that. And and the other one is storytelling. My fault. So it's EPK's website and then storytelling, because your storytelling ability will help you pitch things, so specifically like grants and art prizes. So as long as you can put a story together of how you're going to spend money, how you're going to use the money, that's one portion of it. But overall, like what I'm going to make in this art project, like, oh, this is sweet art and this is why it's sweet art, versus like, you know, like kind of like entertainment. You go see Deadpool, there's all certain things lined up to work in that way. But those three things helped change my life. And what I mean by changing my life is like I survived off art for almost 10 years. It's officially my 10-year anniversary in October 2014. Left my job and I was like, fuck it, we'll see what this goes and shit. So yeah, so it's 10 years.
That's
now.
big time, man, when you can survive off your art.
Yeah.
And you don't gotta punch a clock or work a job, you know?
Yeah. I did punch had 2 years off, so I guess had 8 years total going on, but I had 10 years total like in the music structure. But yeah, it feels good to do that. It feels good to like do your shit and then get paid and then like, you know, keep it moving. Yeah. It's not I would say I get paid like any other kind of what's it called? Like average. What's the average or something? I don't know what the fucking average is, but it works for me. Sometimes it's like, you know, some years, like every year it went up. And one of my best years, I made $100,000, and that was in 2019. Sweet. Yeah, that was my best year. And that was right before the fucking Spirit Plate tour. But
yeah, man.
Yeah, but like, yeah, you know, I'm averaging anywhere from 30 to 60 off music, and it just depends the hustle. Like it's hard.
Yeah, that's dope.
Yeah, and luckily I do have a second job, which is filmmaking and video, so that kind of helps supplement shit too. Like when music ain't paying the bills, the videos are. So
yeah, respect. Well, so we are just about at our time limit, and I want to close this out with one more Sacramento Knoxx track. I'm looking at Humility and Respect. Which one?
We'll play Respect.
Respect. I respect that.
Yeah.
And you were listening to Detainment Radio. We have Respect by Sacramento Knoxx.
Yeah. That's the height of my goal. Let's go there. Indigenous cause. Let's go. Go easy on each other, we got one life. Respect is always given, shouldn't ask twice. Mishoma's got my back, better act right. Keep it on lock since the big knife. If it don't happen, gotta let it be. This blessing is a one-way street. This blessing is the one I need. I'm guessing I accelerate the speed. Out of space, now I'm spinning. Respect is all that I'm giving. Checking in with all seven. That's gotta be my preference. That's standing on business. That's fixing all the sickness. Painting up a new picture. Making up a new mixture. Back up from the kitchen stove. Move up when we getting go. Prayers up when I flip this flow. Hands up if you're trying to glow. Time's up, never slip up now. Laugh up when I kick this rhyme. Mask up when it's repping time. Life's up for a second time. Chances. Everyone deserves them. Now I'm dancing. Walking on this turtle. Then I'm glancing at the past and moving fast and jumping hurdles. Now I'm passing all the classes. Might just turn my heart on purple. Zoom far when I lift it. Hit stars getting gifted. You are on a mission. Don't you ever forget it. Take a glance in that mirror. Do you respect that person? Please become your best version. Cut it up like a surgeon. Go easy on each other, we got one life. Respect is always given, shouldn't ask twice. Mishoma's got my back, better act right. Keep it on lock since the big night. If it don't happen, gotta let it be. This blessing is a one-way street. This blessing is the one I need. I'm guessing guessing I accelerate the speed. How the fuck I even get here, I don't know. Maybe God, I am high with the prayers up to the sky. When I captured all the dragons riding thunderbirds and hummingbirds, singing to these walls. Haters cue the mix, I'm on my every single time. Yeah, every single line. Whoa, I complete the cross. Yeah, I'll be spilling sauce. Whoa, I'll be feeling lost. Yeah, can't forget the cost. Whoa, graduated boss. Yeah, I'ma play the song. Whoa, I don't see what's wrong. Yeah, I agree it's strong. Whoa, this gonna take a long. Yeah, time coming, haters look the drumming. I be making something, feeling like I'm hunting. I'm just onto something. Gotta dodge the front and catch me pushing buttons. Yeah, beams out, things now from a mean mouth. Whoa, I doubt, don't need no clout, I freestyle. Yeah, I shout on my block what I'm about. Whoa, east, west, north, can't forget the south. Go easy on each other, we got one life. Respect is always given, shouldn't ask twice. Mishoma's got my back, better act right. Keep it on lock since the big night. If it don't happen, gotta let it be. This blessing is a one-way street. This blessing is the one I need. I'm guessing I accelerate the speed.
Back up from the kitchen stove, move up when we getting go. Praise up when I flip this flow, hands up if you're trying to glow. Time's up, never slip up now. Laugh up when I kick this rhyme. Mask up when it's repping time. Lights up for a second time, every single time. Yeah, every single line. Whoa, I complete the cross. Yeah, I'll be spilling sauce. Whoa, I'll be feeling lost. Yeah, can't forget the cost. Whoa, graduated boss. Yeah, I'ma play the song. Whoa,
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Yo, so that was Respect by Sacramento Knoxx, and you are listening to Detainment Radio. That about wraps up our broadcast, and I just wanted to thank Beatbox Shakes for coming through.
Cheers.
And Sacramento Knoxx for coming through.
Glit blow.
Yeah. And so is there anything that you want to say closing up? Like, where can people find you on the streams or anything that you got going on?
It's Sacramento with A's because people put E's in it. So it's Sacramento. And that's a family name, by the way. I'm not from California. It's a family name. And that's Sacramento Knoxx with 2 X's and A's in Sacramento. So, I mean, like, it's you just Google it, find the shit on there. And, yeah, I mean.
That's what's up.
Find me on Instagram, though. That's my favorite place to be, so.
Baby, baby. So you have listened to Detainment Radio. This is your boy, Chauncey, the Thriller, and I am going to just close out this episode with one of my instrumental tracks that is yet to be released.